Welcome to Rebel Ants Radio. This is the video podcast of the Rebel Ants NFT project. This is our build in public platform where we share the process for Miguel and I to launch the Rebel Ants NFT project, going from 0 to hopefully 10,000 minted and then 1 million more traded on secondary is kind of the goal here. But we are trying to do this podcast every week, except when I'm out of town, and then we couldn't do it for the last 2 weeks. But we are back today and excited to catch up about all things NFT NYC and updates on our project. So, Miguel, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome back to you. You were far away from us, huh?
Thank you. Yeah, I went across the pond, as they say. Nobody says that. I was hanging out in Europe, did a couple of city hops, and I'm happy to be back, but I felt a little weird missing recording our show. I felt a little weird missing NFT NYC, but I have you to tell me all about it. So before we do that, let me just remind people of a couple of really important things. First and foremost, if you're here now, you're lucky because you're early and you still have a chance to mint your Rebel Ants. So head over to rebelants.io and you have a chance to mint your Rebel Ant for 0.01 ETH. Which is not much money, maybe $18 or something. So do yourself a favor, do us a favor, get an ant. While you're over there, head over to rebelants.io/shop. You can pick up some merch, and we are soon to be releasing our own merch store where we control all aspects of it, from the website to the merchandise itself, and we are happy to share that process as we go along. And then just a reminder that at some point during the show, we're going to stop, give you a secret code for you to go enter onto a website for a chance to win a free Rebel Ant airdrop to you. So the first 3 people to enter the code on the website will get a free Rebel Ant minted airdrop to them, courtesy of Miguel. Miguel, that gas fee is killing
me. My ETH and gas fees. Jesus.
Yeah, better your ETH than mine because I have like none. I'm spending all on gas right now. I don't know. I was trying to buy an NFT today. It was like, 2/3 of the cost of the NFT was gas, so I just didn't do it.
What were you trying to buy today?
More Outlaws. We'll get to it though.
So I bought one yesterday, and the gas fee was the same price as the.
That's crazy, right?
Picture, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be spending more money if gas was lower, which for better or worse.
But it's still cheaper than what it used to be.
I know.
So
it's
for
still
me, it's
not $100.
No, I mean for newbies, for people that are newbies to the NFT world, they're probably like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is a lot of money. But for me, it's like, oh shit, this is so cheap.
Yeah, I have legit paid $100 in gas before. I think I've paid $200 in gas before.
Oh, I paid a lot more.
Yeah,
for sure.
That was back in the day, back in like 2021 before it was cool. We have 6 people watching us, so feel free to drop a comment, say hi, let us know where you're joining from. I know this is an unusual time for us to be streaming, but we're happy to do so. We didn't want to skip another week. And it's my fault that we didn't record yesterday like we usually do on Sundays at 8 p.m. Got stuck at a baseball tournament. Not me, my kids. And, not the outcome we were hoping for. But
Daddy duties.
A good game nonetheless. Miguel, we're going to start with an icebreaker. And maybe our audience, our viewers, want to chime in with their response. But question for you, Miguel. What is your favorite outdoor activity? And you can't say, like, sex. But you can be like,
outdoor
baseball game or walking my dog or being in the pool.
Probably being in a pool.
Being in the pool is your favorite outdoor activity?
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah, well, because you have a pool. It's nice, right?
I'm lazy.
And how does that compare to like being at a beach, like in the ocean?
No, I prefer my pool.
Yeah.
Once around, it's no craziness. You know what I mean? I could just get naked and get in there. No,
yeah, I told you, don't talk about
sex. I'm kidding.
Well, I think for me, it would probably be hiking or going for a run. I really enjoy the outdoors. And, every once in a while I get to do it with the wife and kids. We get to go explore the outdoors. And, New Jersey is not all that bad for hiking and nature. So if you don't get to hike, I recommend go finding an opportunity this spring or summer to go hiking. We have a comment here from Universal supporting the fam. Thank you. Thank you, Universal. Love to have you with us, regardless of what day it is. Let us know, what is your favorite outdoor activity? Drop a comment. So,
drop the comment. Let us know. I like hiking, man. So definitely missed you. Had a lot to catch up on. Obviously, NFT NYC was going on. A lot to talk about when it comes to NYC NFT. A lot of stuff going on. I mean, a lot of cool projects that I just happened to be walking around and buying in as I met the people that were there. So yeah, I have a couple of NFTs that I ended up buying just meeting people there. It was pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. What NFTs did you pick up just from, like, was it peer pressure because you're standing in front of someone and they're like,
No, not at
"Go
all. No, it was more like I just I was just talking to them and they seemed pretty cool, so I ended up buying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. It wasn't like you weren't pressured to do anything there. I mean, it was such a cool atmosphere that you would have loved it if you would have been there. Like,
Yeah, next year, or maybe we'll find an
it in your
excuse.
face.
Huh?
I'm gonna keep rubbing it in your face that you were there.
I get it, man. I am
I
jealous.
feel very lonely, just so you know. I did. I did.
We got a comment here from Always Blessed. Thank you for joining us, saying, walk in the park, great exercise. I agree. Just being outside is the best, getting some sun. I think people talk about vitamin D from the sun, like the sun is giving them vitamin D, but that's not how vitamin D works. It's like
how does it work?
Your body creates the vitamin D in response to the sunlight. It's not that you're getting vitamin D from the sun.
You sure?
I know these things. Trust me.
Do you?
No, I don't know. I looked it up on AI. Dr. Gupta.ai is a cool one. I've got Universal saying, I hiked the Appalachian Trail in New Jersey and camped at the highest point there overnight. Well, Universal, you and I have something in common because I too hiked the Appalachian Trail from Maine down to Pennsylvania. Then I sprained my ankle and cried like a little baby in the woods and had to discontinue. But New Jersey Appalachian Trail is beautiful. Good stuff. So Miguel, back to NFT NYC. Tell us, walk us through. I know other people have put out their recaps, but this is your turn to tell me, what did I miss?
You missed a lot. So it was pretty cool. I met a lot of people, met a lot of friends, new friends, obviously. And I think we sent you a list of people that we need to reach out to that wanted to be on the podcast. So that's pretty cool too. I met Alyssa Stevens a couple times there. Actually, I saw her a couple times. She was supposed to she did do a speech on the last day. She was a speaker, but I didn't make it on the last day. By then I was already too tired, toasted. Like, but I wish I was there. Listening to, I heard it was pretty good. So
yeah,
I think she posted something about it on her Twitter account. Met Pablo Stanley, which was amazing. And you missed that. That's your guy.
That's my guy.
You know what I mean? You really missed that. I feel bad about that one. I sent you some pictures. So
yeah, very jealous.
I hope you were hating when you were over there.
Yeah.
But no, it was pretty cool. He had a pop-up gallery in New York, and we went to that pop-up gallery, and it was pretty cool. He had all the Roboto stuff there. He had the New Humankind stuff there too, and he was featuring a couple of other artists there too who were there as well, and they were pretty cool too. I actually bought in on some of those too.
Oh, nice.
A couple of new open editions that he had going. And yeah, man, he was just really down to earth. Like when I first got there that night, he was like, "Oh, I can't believe you're here." And I was like, "Oh, well, I guess you know me."
Do you really think he knew who you and we were?
Yeah, man. Like he knew. He seriously did know. And it was pretty cool. And then I went the next day again. He had a workshop about his new platform drops under the Bueno brand, which was pretty cool. And he went through it. He actually went through the whole how to mentor on NFTs, and he did a quick workshop about all that. And it was pretty easy to understand, pretty cool, and some cool upgrades that made it even easier. I did ask him at one point, it would still have to use Photoshop to be able to get the layers into his program.
Right.
And he said, for now, yes, but eventually at some point they're going to be upgrading that too, so that you are able to import directly from Procreate. So I'm hoping that he does that soon. But other than that, at the Javits Center at the NFT NYC, that was actually amazing. It was at the Javits, and I think it was the north or south side. I don't remember exactly which one.
Yeah,
but it was 2 floors of just
wow,
a lot of information. They definitely give you a lot of just information for people to learn what NFTs are. And then there was a lot of speakers there from the gaming industry, from the sports industry, from the fashion industry, TV. I mean, there was even a booth. I remember at one point that it was a bunch of lawyers that they were like NFT lawyers and stuff like that.
That's cool. Very niche.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. There was a bunch of new projects, a bunch of new platforms, people that are starting like like websites that do or meant like your artwork and do different kind of utilities and stuff like that. So there was definitely a lot of that, a lot of like new companies that are coming up that will give your NFT utilities, if that makes sense. So
yeah, that's great, because that I think is a big part for like a barrier of entry, right? If you don't know how to code
yeah,
or create those things yourself, you're kind of looking to other platforms to do that, which I think is, sort of where you and I have been at for the past few months of just saying, how do we make something happen with this?
yeah. The only thing with the whole thing is that it was very pricey. It was very expensive to go there, but it was a cool experience to have for the 2 days. I mean, I wanted to go all 3 days, but the last day I was just tired.
Yeah.
Because you're walking, all over New York City, and then you're walking at the Javits and meeting people and talking to people. But for the most part, it was the same thing. They actually give you food. They give you breakfast. They give you lunch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they did. They had like a whole spread. They have a whole bunch of stages where the booths and these people are.
Right.
Where they had two stages. They had like a main stage or a fashion stage. I don't remember exactly what it was, but all the stages were different. And then if you take the escalator all the way to the top, they had this cool sign that said NFT NYC, and people were putting stickers. So obviously we put Rebel Ants stickers all over it. I think we had the most stickers on that thing ever. And next year I'm probably gonna put even more if they still have it, or if they put a new one. But it was pretty cool. It was pretty dope. Again, like we met a lot of cool people there. It was just an amazing place. And in that last floor on the top, there was a lot of rooms where we had a lot of speakers. And if you wanted, it was something that pertained to something that you wanted to listen to, or something that you wanted your NFT to be a part of, like fashion or whatever industry.
Yeah,
they were all talking and giving advice there. So yeah, we even had someone there that was against NFTs. That was the speaker. So, and he was giving his point of view. A lot of people got up and left when he was talking, but I listened to his points. They weren't bad. I mean, he wasn't like really against it. He was more of like giving you the reality of like tax laws and stuff like that and what it entails. But other than that, it was pretty cool. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah. Any other speakers you saw, or
I did. I saw a lot of speakers. We did sit down and listen to a bunch of speakers, but I can tell you the names right now. Like I don't remember the names, honestly. I just kind of walked into one of the stages and just started like sitting down and listening to whatever they were talking about. But let me see. There was a couple talking about fashion. That was pretty cool.
nice.
Because like we've mentioned before here on our podcast, we've talked about like how the fashion industry and the gaming industry and even the TV industry, is trying to really get into the NFT world. And, even the NFL was there. Actually, someone from the NFL was there. I was listening to, and they were talking about how they're getting into NFTs and doing tickets and stuff like that. Like all the other utilities that are happening are really intertwined with like their vision and what it is that they're doing. Like the NFL really wants to intertwine NFTs with a bunch of stuff, So what that's going to look like in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? We've talked about ticketing NFTs for a while, and they have just such strong IP that it's just they could do anything they want between cards and fantasy league and merchandise, and they could do everything. We got a comment from Universal. You should compile a quick video of all the photos and footage you took while you were there and upload it here for us to watch. I agree. Let's get our editor on that, our video editor, put all that together, and we'll put that out. Let me ask you a couple of other questions, Miguel, just because I'm jealous that I couldn't be there. How crowded was it? Was it as crowded as you would have expected it to be? Was it a little less? Was it more?
No, it wasn't as crowded as you like. For example, the car show was going on at the same time. The car show was really crowded. Like we weren't really crowded, but there was a lot of people there. I mean, definitely a lot of people there. But it wasn't like to the point that you couldn't like walk or talk to people or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because there was 2 floors and 2 huge floors to top it off. So people kept going back and forth. Like I kept going to the top. I kept coming back to the bottom, and vice versa all day, every day, just trying to see if I missed something or if I didn't talk to someone, and just try to network as much as we could. But it wasn't crowded at all. No.
Nice. And so, I think about the NFT podcasts that I listen to, or the people I follow on Twitter. There's a certain type of conversation. There's a certain buzz that goes on there. What was the buzz like at an event like that? Was it the same level of discussion talking about, you know, the big projects and what's coming up soon? Or was it more nitty gritty talking about people who have their own projects and their processes? What was the dialogue like?
No, not really. This was more educational than anything else. And it was more like if you were on the first floor where you had the booths and stuff like that, like those people, those projects were really trying to get at you and talking about their project. Not that they were like attacking you or anything like that.
Right.
Like you were interested, you would walk by it and then you would read whatever they had and then they would explain to you what it was. But it was pretty chill. Like it wasn't like it wasn't about like the projects that are now the upcoming projects and stuff like that. Yeah, there was some chatter about like amigos and stuff like that, but nothing crazy. It was just as you were walking around, some people were talking about it, like, "Hey, you know about Nakamigos and like whatever other projects are out there, right?" But it was more of an educational thing, right? Like most of the speakers were just really talking about how they're trying to intertwine NFTs and make it grow bigger and how to get it more out there into the masses than anything else. Like, at least that's my opinion of what I got from it.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Is there a certain type of person that should definitely attend next year and a certain type of person that definitely shouldn't attend?
Yeah, you should definitely attend. You.
I'm the type of person. Yeah, I'll be there next year unless I'm not.
So what I really want to do next year is, and I think I told you this, is that I really want to, as soon as it's released and as soon as they start talking about it, I really want to do a booth for us.
Yeah.
I think it'll be beneficial for us to have like the podcast going live while we're there. And I actually sent them an email and I told them that that's something that we were interested in doing.
Yeah, I think Always Blessed has the same thought as you. You should do a booth next year.
Yeah, so I really want to do a booth. We definitely have a lot of good things going on. Like I didn't see, I really didn't see what our project is doing there, right? As far as like where we talked about the battles and stuff like that, and you know the burn mechanism and all the other stuff that we talked about for our project. I really did not see that out there. But I think that it would be cool for us to be there and showcase the podcast and showcase all the other artists that are there, because there is a lot of artists just walking around the floor there. Not particularly being in a booth, but just people, you know, like me and you just walking around trying to learn more and more on their projects. And that also happened at the Bueno pop-up gallery. Like there was a lot of people there that were newbies and just trying to learn what it was. And again, it just gives me the feeling that people out there really don't know what NFTs are at all. Like they just don't know what the technology is or entails or what it does and what's capable of doing. So I think it'll be really beneficial for us to have a booth there, kind of educate the masses and at the same time put our name out there, and at the same time also feature as many artists as we can, because that's what we're really all about. So I think it'll be cool to do that.
Yeah, I would love to just kind of have a booth set up, just keep the camera rolling and grab people as they're walking by and be like, "Hey, come tell us your story." Yeah,
no, I think that's really what I want. That's basically it. Good. And again, like there was conversations about the anonymity part of NFTs and how people don't trust it. Same thing that we've been preaching for a while already, how there is so much anonymity that people just don't want to even get into the NFT world because they just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I definitely get that. I was actually going to ask you something along those lines, because I remember listening to a podcast recently where they talked about back in 2020 or 2021, conferences were more about using your PFP to kind of showcase, hey, this person's a speaker, and they associate it with the PFP that maybe you know from Twitter. But then going into 2021 and 2022 into 2023, people are a little bit more open and using their actual face instead of their profile picture. Did you get a sense that it was trending more that way, that people are being more transparent, or did you feel it's still kind of?
Yeah, I feel like the people that were there were being more transparent than anything else. Like they were really trying to just showcase their art and themselves, right? Like before, if you really think about NFTs from the beginning, people were really like reluctant to say, "Oh, this is my face. This is who's drawing this thing. This is who's doing whatever," right? But I think as we move forward now, because that, in my opinion, that really hurt the industry, really hurt the NFT world, because I feel like people don't trust it as much now.
Right.
All the rug pulls and all the other crap that's been going around. But now it's starting to feel more of a change where people are more open to showing who they are, like we do, right? And showcase who they are and talk about their story. And again, like I keep saying, that that this is why we do what we do, because we want to showcase these people and make sure that they give us their story, and it gives them a sense of connection to the community too. At the same time, people know what they're buying into. In
Right.
other words.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right? Because I think one of the biggest stigmas from Bitcoin, when that was the only kid on the block, was, well, you don't know who owns each wallet. You don't even know who the creator is.
Yeah.
And so it's just all this shroud and mystery. And now we have a platform, an opportunity to showcase who is behind these digital assets that,
Yeah.
is linked to that currency. And if we're still hiding behind the anonymity, it's a lot harder to create that.
It's a lot harder. Yeah. It's a lot harder to connect. Like, it's like, I know we even reached out to the cowboy guys, but they haven't reached back out to us. I don't know what those guys look like. I don't know what their project. I don't know if it's, honestly, I don't know if it's a rug. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. I don't know if what's that other project that's out there now? Nakamigos it's a rug. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if it's a rug, but it doesn't seem to have much going for it other than a price spike, and now it's been drifting back down.
But I think my thing with Nakamigos is that it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, it just came out of nowhere. Like, where did the community come from? Where did it happen? Like, what happened? Why is nobody talking about this?
I don't know, but they made a lot of money. I'll tell you that.
Of course they did. Yeah.
I think it almost hit 1. I think it was at 0.8 at some point.
I don't know. They made a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So like you said at the beginning, you had come up with a list of contacts that you made there. And I went through those contacts. Some of them didn't look like they had much going on. Like, even their websites aren't up, or, their Twitter account isn't active. So I kind of filtered through those, but then I looked at the projects that seemed more legit or that would be good fits to have on our program and sent them some messages. So, I was trying to think about what sort of message somebody would want to get in their inbox that would make them say yes. And I think we've done 2 ways. We've done the long intro where it's like, hi, I'm Kevin, half of the Rebel Ants, with my co-founder Miguel, and this is what we do. And we do a weekly podcast. We think you'd be good on it. And then I think there's the short version, which is like, hey, GM, we think you'd be a good fit for the podcast. Do you want to come on? Right? Where, like, you don't have to say too much. And I don't know if one's better than the other. I think there's probably some A/B testing, but maybe it's the audience that you're talking to that needs the long message or the short message to kind of build that credibility. Yeah. I think we heard back from 2 or 3 people from that list that we mentioned or that we reached out to come on the show. So I think we have at least 2 confirmed that said yes. And then 1, I think there was a dialogue going back and forth for, I think Little Monsters was one of them saying, yeah, he's interested, but just not yet. So,
yeah, I mean, I also have a bunch of people that have reached out to me in my own personal Twitter, but I'm saving those for when their projects are out, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's look at our Twitter real fast. Can you see Twitter?
No, you're on Zen Crypto.
Why am I in Zen Crypto? So rusty at this.
2 weeks without doing it. Unreal. You already lost it. Already lost it.
All right. So looking at our messages. Yes, we reached out to Blazo. This is a stupid comedians from NJ, New Jersey, making NFTs. So I watched some of their stuff. I think they'd be good guests. So I just said, as fellow NJ NFT folks, we think you should come on our pod, which could use some comedy. And then he said, sure, we'll support you. Looks like we just missed this week. So we'll get back in touch. This is the one for Little Monsters, which does look interesting. So I would definitely say check this one out at Liddy Monsters with a Z. And he said he'd be interested once he gets the show together. This one, Crespo Arts, basically said yes, right? This is a much shorter message than, for example...
So Crespo was at the Bueno pop-up gallery, and that's where I met him.
Yes.
Cool guy.
Yeah. Who did we message that was much longer? Something like Outlaws, right? Like, this was our message. It's much longer. You kind of got to read it. I don't know. Maybe that's just not the right approach to some of these projects. So maybe we need to be more brief, or, look at this one. GM, would you want to come on our video podcast and talk about your project and your history as an artist, right? And we got a response. So maybe there's some fine tuning we need to do for
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to his project Little Monsters. I've been following him for a while now, and his artwork's pretty cool. So I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
forward
like
to
it.
it. Yeah, I like it too. So I'm looking forward to when he, really decides to go all in on his project.
Yeah, good. Any closing thoughts on your NFT NYC experience?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just can't wait till next year because I feel like it's just gonna get bigger and better.
Yeah.
Right. And I also can't wait for next year because then you will be there, hopefully.
Ooh, let's get the date earlier than later. That way I can really lock into it.
You better lock into it right now.
No
Lock
promises.
in, Kevin.
No promises. What if it's on my anniversary weekend?
Oh, very lonely.
Take my wife?
Yeah.
All right.
Bring her
It's
over.
her gift.
We'll
It's a
for her to
ticket to
give us
NYC.
stickers. Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, of course, it's that close to us. I wish I could have been there. And maybe we'll find a way to get to some other, meetups or events.
Yeah.
Over the coming year.
There was a lot of parties going on, after parties. There was a lot of just buzz after it closes because I think the whole show closes at 6 p.m. or 7. I don't remember.
Mm.
But after that, everybody would have their own party and stuff like that. Like I know that Tony had his own thing going on, and
Yeah,
I think Queens, which I couldn't make because I was at the Bueno one, and I really wanted to go to that one. And Tony's doing he's a cool advocate for us too. Like he talks a lot about us in his Twitter Spaces and stuff like that. So I really want to continue to support him.
yes, absolutely. We gotta show up. Every time I see his tweets, I'm retweeting them, and yeah, he's been very generous to us. So I think we should continue to.
Yeah, and they actually got they made a deal with Sony recently. So we'll see what that project's going to end up looking like at some point. But I think it's a great idea what he's doing. So I want to continue to follow them and support as much as I can from our end. And we talked about supporting him in ways that when he gets the artists to go into the NFTs, maybe we could showcase them here in a podcast and talk to them so that they can, kind of showcase themselves. So that would be cool.
I love it. Let's get those guests lined up and support, our fellow NFTers.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Do you want to tell me about your obsession with Xen, XEN?
What? Really?
Yeah.
No, not financial advice.
Not financial advice, but you just keep telling me.
You hear that, IRS? Not financial advice.
You give me financial advice. You told me that you would bet your Bitcoin on it.
I didn't tell you anything, Kevin. Stop.
So this is down from where I bought in. Thank you. I bought in at 90.
Oh, 9, yeah.
That's I put in $10 and I got 1 million coins. So
exactly. Listen,
low risk, low reward, I guess.
Was created by someone who worked. I think his name is Jack LaLanne, who worked for Google. And this is the first cryptocurrency that's trying to follow suit like Bitcoin did.
Yeah.
So it's an open source. I think it's also in every platform. It's not just ETH.
Right.
I think that this cryptocurrency is going to really take off. Like seriously. Go to the month chart.
Not financial advice, I know.
Go to the month chart. Boom.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, if you got in down here and then you sold over here, you'd be in good shape.
Well, no, the market.
I bought in like right over here. And now I'm down here.
Yeah, so I've been accumulating Zen for a while, so
yeah,
I have a lot. So hopefully, we'll see what happens. I mean, I like the project, but again, like any other project that I own or have, I'm just diamond hands, man. Diamond hands. I don't really sell.
Yeah, I am too, because I just keep making bad investments and buying bad projects where I buy it and I'm like, I guess I'll just hold on to this because it's gone down to 0. So
yeah.
I don't know if that counts as diamond handing.
My Bitcoin's didn't go down to 0, but you know what I mean? It's okay.
That is true. That is true. All right, let's just talk about Outlaws real fast, just because we mentioned it a few times. So
let's talk about Outlaws. Yeah.
Outlaws, pretty new on the scene. I think they just started minting in April of this year, right? So it's only been out for a couple of weeks. The floor price is, relatively low at 0.19, but they've had a lot of volume. So if you were to kind of take this amount and divide it by this, that's a lot of transactions, right?
Yeah.
I think there's just something really cool about the art. Like I said to you, it's appealing to me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I really like the art for sure.
The flat art, and I don't know. I guess I'm kind of always been into like, Western motifs, but if you were to sort this, say again?
It's a cool project. I really like the artwork.
Yeah, let's sort this by most rare. And then when you look at some of these more rare ones or these one-of-ones, the gun aspect is cool, right? The more common ones don't have that. You got bandanas, you got skulls and different skins. And yeah, I just really enjoy this. Again, not financial advice, but I picked up one with the card in the hat. And then I was looking to get a couple more thinking, all right, maybe I need to make like a gang of these gamblers. And
how many you have so far?
Just one, but I was looking at getting a couple more. But then again, the gas was like the same price or, almost the same price as the NFT. I was like, yeah, that doesn't feel like a good investment. Then I was thinking maybe if I buy like 3 at once, I'll pay lower gas fee, but OpenSea doesn't work like that. So I was going to take a look at some of the other marketplaces like Blur and just kind of see if I can do a group purchase over there.
Yeah, man. I really like those with the bandanas.
Yeah.
I might get
this
one
one's really cool. But, when you look at their website, there's
it's very bland. It's very
yeah, it's Outlaws. The color scheme for this, picture, and at the bottom of each NFT is the color palette, which I think is cool to kind of showcase the art in that sense. But other than that, there's not much utility. I haven't connected my wallet yet because I'm just, no need to add another one to the list. But that's really it. And then when you go to banners, there's I think probably all the banners, and these are free to download, which I think is cool, right? Because you can put it on your Twitter profile, you can do something to showcase their artwork, you can just explore it. It's very nice, and I kind of dig the feeling. And if you go to their Medium site, they have a nice little story. Where's the Medium article? Is it gone? Did they get rid of it? Oh no, the Medium article is over here. So they have a nice story just kind of about the background of their inspiration. I think it's worth checking out. So yeah, I think it'd be cool to get them on the show. They've made a lot of progress in the first month of coming out, a lot of success.
They've been out a few weeks and they're already worth a couple $1 million, Kevin.
Exactly, right? I don't know that they have any stronger angle than you or I have in this space, other than, they just clicked with the masses and it went viral to some extent. So
yeah,
maybe something for us to learn from that, but it'd be cool to chat with them.
And this is the thing, like, how is it that these projects can come out, just a few weeks ago and already be worth a couple $1 million? Like, who's their marketing team? Like, what is it that they're doing that we're not?
It's a good question because they don't really say who they are, as far as I could tell.
No, they don't. It's very like quiet. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, they're not very transparent in that regards, which I think would be nice just to understand and maybe get a little bit more of like a emotional connection to the project. But something I shared with you is that they're doing these one-of-ones that are just specific call outs of images to famous people or references to other pop culture, which I think is nice. And you and I had talked about that from a Rebel Ants perspective of creating an ant specific for another project or specific for a holiday or
we can still do that. We still, I know we did that a few times. I mean, we didn't actually release it and put it out for sale as an open edition or anything like that. But
right. Well, we will.
We did the St. Patrick's one. We did the Christmas one. We did.
We did a Halloween.
Yeah, we did a few things, but nothing crazy. It was more for like our own personal Twitter pages and stuff like that. Yeah.
So I think there's an opportunity there with the V2 ants, and yeah, it'll be cool to kind of see that through. So anyway, Outlaws, if you're listening, come on, let's chat. Let's be friends. You're Outlaws. We're Rebels. Like we're meant to be together.
We're meant to be together. Yeah.
We're meant to be together.
So let's talk about our project. Let's talk about V2s. Maybe you might want to go on Twitter and just pull it up real quick.
Yeah, let me pull that.
And I'll chime in and talk about it a little bit.
So this was the post from 7 hours ago. Here's a little taste at the V2. So here's there's 2 images here. So walk us through what's going on here.
So our ants are cybernetic ants, some of them. So this is one of them. He's a hybrid, right? Pretty cool. They're samurais. But there's going to be some that are going to be totally different than samurais with no swords, stuff like that. Go to the next one. And this is one with his mask on. Obviously, my imagination going wild there, but it looks pretty cool. Well, I mean,
it'll look better with the color.
Yeah, once I put color and background, that's actually a whole mask that he's wearing in his head. That's why you can't really see much, but that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I think what I want to do too is like I told you, the backgrounds are going to be pretty cool. Now that I see the Outlaws backgrounds too, is going to be kind of something like that, but not Western. Obviously, it's more of like a Japanese theme, with like the kimonos and stuff like that. You know, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a cool feeling, and you're gonna like the background. You're gonna like everything about them.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. You've talked about playing around with 3D. Where does 3D fit into V2?
So 3D is not going to be for V2 yet.
Okay.
Maybe at some point it will be when we start like really going into 3D animation and stuff like that. I did dab around 3D animation and just 3D drawings. It's not something hard to do, but I still need to practice a lot of it, so that I can really get to where I want the project to look like. But for that, I would definitely need animators and more help than just me. It's a big project. Just drawing one and 3D is not. I think I sent you one.
Yeah,
it actually looked pretty cool, but that took a long time.
It looked very interesting, and it wasn't colored in, so I was like, oh, to see this fully developed with texture and lighting would look.
Oh yeah, it would look
really
amazing. But it takes time. It takes time to do the 3D art.
Yeah.
But it would be cool for our idea to have them battle. You know what I mean? Because that could become a game. It could become, something else. Like we really got a lot going on for us. So we just got to keep dabbing one thing at a time. And I really want to finish V2. And then obviously I just want to continue on the Jeremys, because the Jeremys we have maybe about, I don't know, like 40, 50 of them done out of the 500.
Right. And
the Jeremys take a lot of time because the Jeremys is a one of one, right? The thing is that with V2, it also takes a lot of time because there's a lot more like specifics to the drawing, right? That I want people to really look at and enjoy. Like if you look at the one with the mask, once I do the coloring and all that, that's gonna really look like really, really cool, kind of like 2D-ish on a 2D drawing, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so can we just recap what our bigger picture is for what's on our plate right now? So we've got Rebel Ants V1. We'd love to sell some more. There's 10,000 of them. But in terms of thinking about Jeremys and V2, we're thinking about V2 being about 5,000, right? 5,000 collection.
Yeah.
And they'll be divided up into, 10 or 20 different gangs or groups. And then we'll use AI storytelling to have them do battle each week. And then the winner of that battle, depending on if you hold any of the NFTs from V2 within that gang, you'll be rewarded based on holding X amount of V2. And then there'll be some kickers and multipliers, right? From Jeremys and V1.
Yeah, there will be rewarded some ANT coins. So we're still in the transit of trying to get the coins built, and kind of dealing with that whole scenario. But I think we have it down packed by now. I think we know what we want to do. We want to move forward. I just think we need the time to really put it all together and then finalize the website. We really want to change the website too. We want to make it a little bit more lively, right?
Yep, I've got some big ideas. I've been watching some tutorials and just trying to piece it all together to kind of freshen it up, bring a different look to it. And it's just a different focus now because we have, 3 projects at play. We're not just the Rebel Ants V1. We've got Rebel Ants V1, V2, Jeremys. We've got a podcast. We've got some different things to showcase on the site versus just what we kicked off with last year.
Yeah. Plus, we're creating a token. Where there's a lot going. There's a lot of moving parts for 2 people doing everything, right?
Yeah, so that is for sure.
Yeah, but it's exciting. We can't wait to really have it all out. And I think it's going to be fun. I think people are going to really enjoy it. They're going to enjoy the battles. And now that we are able to intertwine ChatGPT into things, we might be able to do that into our website. Actually, I didn't even think about that, but that'll be cool to see. And then the website will be really cool. I mean, Kevin has some great ideas for the website, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, production starts this week, and I'll start sharing out the pieces. I'd love to do some screen recordings of either the design part or the development part in Webflow, just to kind of put it out there. You know, I love watching somebody just build in Webflow, even if I don't care about the thing they're building. It's just fun to watch them build and learn. And so I'd love to be able to give that experience back. I've never streamed anything Webflow, and I can't tell you how many hours and hours of video I've watched from the community on building websites within Webflow. So it'll be nice to be a part of that. We've got a comment here from Universal. Two things. One, give the ants a profession. Chef ants, spy ants, pirate ants, doctor ants. So that's essentially what those gangs are, Universal. You know, Miguel, can you think of some of the names of the gangs offhand? We had mercenaries, we had engineers, we had tunnelers, we had, you know, just all these cool names that we came up with. So viral buzz around Star Trek Picard, you should draw all. Yeah.
With the viral buzz around. Oh yeah. So we could definitely do those one-offs. It's really hard to do the one-offs, but it's something that we really want to focus on once we have everything going out, that we're able to focus on V1 and do some like one-offs. Because for V1 ants, if you really look at them, you could do a lot of things with the coloring of their eyes. You can do flags, you can do a whole bunch of different things. So we're going to work on that. And then for V2s, it's a little more different because the artwork is a lot more detailed. So it's a lot harder to really create one-of-ones for V2. You could do it, but it would take a lot of time from me, especially when my attention is divided into so many different projects right now.
Yeah, but I think Universal is right. Just kind of capitalize on the areas of high traffic. So if we're going to put something out there to just say, hey, this is a one-of-one designed for a specific thing, we're going to try and find a way to make that hit and get some traction on it.
Yeah. Yep. So some pretty cool, exciting stuff coming up for us. Obviously, we're working behind the scenes really hard to get all this done. But again, I really want people to go into our website, rebelants.io, and mint some of the V1 ants. And we also want to introduce a burn mechanism for the V1s. There's going to be more to come on that. And if you buy a V1, you're going to get rewarded during the burn mechanism with some ant coins or whatever we're going to call them. We get them.
Yeah, we'll find a way to make it worth it for people to buy those. Let's see. Universal says YouTube didn't let me type the entire message in one text. Great. And saying is the moment is now. Yes. Okay. The moment is now for us to act. Let me ask you a last question back to NFT NYC that I forgot to ask. Do you think, based on that experience and all the things you saw, are PFPs dead, or they still have an opportunity?
Oh yeah. PFPs are all in still.
Yeah. I know a lot's happening with gaming, but then again, look at Nakamigos. It's just this image that isn't great. And then look at Outlaws. Right now, it's just the PFP, which is great, and it has a background color changer, right? So that's all they've got, and they're making millions. So
at the end of the day, the thing is that people obviously want utility that you could do a lot with your NFT. But at the end of the day, NFTs is artwork, right? That's what it was created for from the beginning. Granted, all the other utilities and stuff was great ideas that came after.
Yeah.
But in the heart of it all, it's a drawing, it's a painting of someone who put their heart and soul into pen and paper and is selling it to someone else. That's it.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here for, right? Whether we sell 10,000 Rebel Ants or 200, I think we would keep going, right?
Yeah, we want to keep going. I mean, even let's say we were to mint out on Rebels V1, then we could do those one-offs, maybe 10 or 15 or 20 different kinds of, like I mentioned before, like the flags and stuff like that, like some cool stuff behind it. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited. We have a lot going on, a lot of irons in the fire. We're just gonna keep pumping through it. Yes, we have our day-to-day lives and jobs, but this is exciting and important for us. So we're going to keep working on it. We appreciate everyone for coming along for the journey. And we've got 8 people watching. So please make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And thanks for joining. Miguel, what else?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's all I have. I did get you some goodies from Bueno so that you can have it and not hate so much that I was taking pictures with Pablo.
Very jealous you got to meet him. You got a selfie with him. That's really cool.
No, I told him that you wanted to meet him. He goes, "Where is he?" I said, "He's in Europe somewhere."
Yeah, I mean, there are worse places I could be, so I don't have any regrets for that. But I'm really happy for you that you got to meet him. I know that we both look up to him and
it was amazing.
His story a lot.
It was amazing. I'm gonna keep rubbing it in your face.
All right. Well, I think that is our show. That's our recap. We'll be back again next week as planned on our Sundays at 8 o'clock. So thank you again for joining with us. Feel free to head over to rebelants.io. Drop your price. Oh, we forgot to do our secret code. It's a good thing we have now.
Yes.
So here's our secret code, Rebels. Nothing too mysterious there. So head over to rebelants.io/proof. Drop in the code Rebels. And if you're one of the first 3 to do so, you will win a free airdropped NFT to your address. And we appreciate you sticking around to the end to get that code. So that's it. Rebels is the code for this week. Other than that, you can check us out on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all your podcast needs. We are there. So feel free to download us, give us a like, a review, 5 stars, 6 stars. I don't know how it works, but
we are everywhere.
Appreciate your support. So, all right. Well, have a good night. And Miguel, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.